All right. What's up, Radford Chugg, to the World Hard Enduro Podcast. Easily one of the most likable and funnest guys inside the FIM Hard Enduro World Championship. Yeah, dude, it's really cool to have you on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. Love to be here.
Yeah, and also I need to congratulate you on such an epic season. I mean, you told me it's your second year racing, your first time racing the full FIM Hard Enduro World Championship season and coming 12th overall. You know, that's a really remarkable achievement, man. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a wild year, really. Yes, my first year properly racing. I've never rode at any sort of championships ever in my life, so to commit and go straight in at a world levels was a bit daunting, but I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah, epic, man. But before we get into that, I want to touch a little bit about like where did your passion for like off-road and hard enduro actually come from? Like you just said now that it's the first time that you entered this championship and really your first time racing. Where did it all begin for you?
I've read a lot of trials growing up. It's such a good base sport to have. As you know, most of the top world riders are all trials background. So from there, growing up, I was always the little tacker at the trials, racing round and getting told off for going too fast and should slow down. And trials was just a little bit too slow. And then as I got older, I got pushed into trials quite a lot when I was younger. Did it to about 16. And I sort of peaked. I was sort of 11th in the country when I was 16, and then I found girls and beer and rugby, and then it all went downhill from there. And then I actually won a bike in a raffle. So I won a motocross bike in a raffle and decided I've seen a few trials riders make the transition, and always like followed Graham and the older riders from trials, and thought, you know what, I fancy giving this a go. And I left the bike in the shed for a year and stuck with riding trials and did a bit of quad racing. And then from there, the bike was neglected in the corner. I thought, you know what, I'll get it out and have a little blast. A few friends had bikes, and turns out I was quite handy on the bike, and sort of from there got the love for it and got the bug, and haven't looked back.
And that's epic. We often see just those integral parts of the formative years of riding motorcycles or off-road motorcycles, with trials being the base, as being just such like a important part for hard enduro. We obviously see, as you mentioned, Graham Jarvis, you got Billy and all the other guys that have just got such a strong trials foundation. And I think it's just such an important part. It's coming up more and more often, the more people we interview and the more people we talk to. But it's quite clear. But what interests me is going from a quad to hard enduro, right? Like, I mean, like how did that work out? I mean, you're obviously known for having the thumb throttle, which is like the only guy riding the FIM championship with a thumb throttle. Does this have like a relationship with each other?
So basically I spent my life riding trials with a twist throttle, then stopped riding trials, raced quads for about 2 or 3 years, and sort of rode at a British level, the British Championships on a quad. And I got on the enduro bike, and I thought, you know what, I think it would be better with a thumb throttle. And I had it on the side, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try it. I don't care what anyone thinks. And I put it on and fell in love. I just gelled with it instantly, and never looked back. And
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many people you can convert to the thumb throttle. I think that a lot of interest has been piqued at the races and just through social media for you running that thumb throttle. Do you think it actually gives you an advantage? I know that we did a video on Instagram, like there was a slow-mo of you going up a hill at Erzberg, and you had like a really strong elbow position on that hill. Like, do you actually think it helps you keep a strong position on the motorcycle?
I personally think it does. Like you said in that video, I never thought about it until you've made that video and touched on them points. And I was like, you know what, that actually, it's true. So just, arm positioning, moving around on the bike, especially when you get tired, you're not constantly grabbing and re-gripping on the throttle. So you don't get the arm pump. It stops any arm pump, and just you can rev the throttle comfortably in any position without trying to move your wrist but I've seemed to have made it work. I think it's got its advantages in places, but I don't think everyone's going to be changing in a hurry, but I have converted a few, and it's good to see people using it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I saw in one of your vlogs, you try to convince Paul Bolton to get over to the thumb throttle, and a few guys, and yeah, that's always a good laugh, eh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, I've had a few riders on it. Mario's had a go.
Yeah,
Jarvis has had a go. Bolton's had a go. Yeah, there's a few people. Morat's had a go. So yeah,
yeah,
need to let Manny have a try on it soon.
yeah. That'll be an interesting one, man. Bring back the KTM quad, eh?
Yeah.
but but yeah, so let's move on to the season, the 2024 Hard Enduro World Championship season. Yeah, man, I actually I have some really interesting questions just for myself. Like, what actually made you go into that championship full on, tackling all 7 rounds of the championship? We know that it's a really financially intensive task to do that,
Yeah.
right? Like, you to get all over the world, especially to the US. What made you actually sign up for that and go full taps on it?
Yeah, I've grown up. I've always been one of them. If you do something, go all in. So yeah, if you do something, do it properly. I thought I'm not getting any younger. I'm 29 now. I'm at the older end of the riders, and I've never had any intention in really doing the World Series. It was the Black Flag. They basically seen me on social media, and I started giving him an odd trials lessons and stuff, and he ended up convincing me to race and offered me a sponsorship deal and paying entries and helping me get there. And I thought, you know what, if he's willing to put the time and the effort in, I need to put the time and what money I can, and yeah, really give it a go and see if I can make something. I've always dreamed of being an athlete or riding professionally, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was got in a little bit of debt and pushed and spent a lot of my all my savings and everything, and thought, you know what, I'm going all in, and I haven't regretted a minute of it.
Yeah, dude, that's so epic. I think that it just shows to also your character and your personality. Like, just to go full in, full balls to the wall, to make it happen, I think is a really cool leap, and just to make that work. And I think that you've been received really well inside the community, right? Like, I think that your first time entering the championship, you got to meet so many new people, got to visit so many new countries, and I think that's I mean, even just from the States side, people received you really well, and were really interested in who you were and what you were doing. I wanted also to find out what is the biggest challenge for you for those years? Was it mostly financial challenge, or logistics, trying to figure out how to get bikes? What is the biggest challenge doing what you were doing from a privateer point of view?
Private, definitely. Funding's always a big thing, but it's transport, flights, getting there, entries, and entries are fairly expensive. And like I said, not really done much racing, so I never knew the price of things. And then going into it, I was sort of, everything was unknown, from accommodation. Some of the rounds I tried to save a bit of money and slept in the camper van in the venues, but in Serbia in 36 degrees or 25 degrees at night, trying to sleep in a van, definitely took a toll on the riding. But then managed to get apartments. So the knowledge and stuff I've gained from this year is massive, and I think going into next year will help me massively, just knowing what's coming up, what sort of budget I've sort of got together, sort of the list of prices, and really sat down and worked it out. Because if you can get ahead early enough and get the stuff booked in advance, you get the early bird entries, the accommodation's cheaper, you can save thousands. So hopefully, try and get another full round in next year.
Yeah, that's a good consumer advice, I think, for people that are looking to do, somewhat what you're doing. I think that, they should be listening in on that and taking some notes, because that's really useful, I think. What was the toughest race for you, for the first time traveling to all these races?
It was from, obviously, going to Erzberg was the first one abroad. That was real tough, and I didn't think it was going to get much harder. And then, Romaniac's come along, and I don't think as a grown man I've cried for ever, apart from it definitely broke me. There's one point on the side of a mountain I had a little cry, but still somehow managed to get a finish, which I was buzzing with for my first ever time. And throwing myself in at gold was, I don't know if it was stupid but it's I got a finish, so I was happy.
Yeah, man, with a 11th inside the FIM class, I mean, that's pretty remarkable, man. I think you showed everyone that you did enter the right class, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also a little bit of a plug here, but really cool to watch your YouTube vlogs. I think that those are like pretty cool just to see what you're getting up to with all these different races. So if anyone's interested as well that's listening, Only Rads, I think it's called. Yeah, we'll plug it inside with the photo here. Definitely cool to follow that and to see what you get up to following these races. So let's speak. So we spoke about the toughest race. What was the most enjoyable race for you?
It would have to be TKO. Tennessee. It's been one of them. I've always wanted to go to Nashville, so it was ticking something off the bucket list. And the fact we got to ride downtown Nashville was just incredible. It was, it's one of the greatest things I've probably, done in my life. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. And went head to head with Carson Brown, which was an awesome experience. And met it over the States, met so many friendly people, just, from Cody Webb, different people like that, just so welcoming, so friendly. And it was, it's just, incredible experience.
And would you say that America was one of your favorite countries that you visited in the season, or would you have another favorite country?
It's definitely up there with one of my favourites. My results weren't great there, but the people and the country itself, loved it. Everything's just big and over the top, and just they do stuff properly. Yeah.
And then if we move on to the 2025 season and beyond, pretty much, I actually wanted to find out, like, you will be committed to the full season next year, right?
Yeah. So next year I've took on a new sponsor, and they wanted me to do the full outdoor season, and I'm hoping if I can get the funding together for our sponsors, I'm hoping to do the indoors as well. I've booked in for Poland for round 1. I've never really ridden super enduro ever. I've done 1 or 2 super enduro races, so I need a lot of work at that, but I think it will help with the prologues at the outdoors. So yeah.
What do you think it would take to get more people like yourself to join a full season of the FIM Hard Enduro World Championship? Like, what would it make it easier for you, someone like you that was interested in doing the full series?
Like I said, the biggest thing, if you're going to commit and go all in, you've got to get the list of dates early, get booked in for the early bird entries, the accommodation, the transport. If you plan in advance, you save yourself thousands, which being a privateer is quite a big thing. And sponsors, that's why I've really pushed my social media. I love just doing silly stuff and hitting big things and showing off. So it's sort of, that's helped. But just approaching sponsors and help early. I made the mistake being my first year. I didn't know. I was looking for support and help in about March. And everyone's already started getting support and sponsorship in November. So I was, everyone spent the budget. So mainly, it was self-funded. But early. Getting on the sponsorship early and getting booked early for everything. It's my biggest advice.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I think to leave it a little bit late, and as you said, you start paying the higher prices for things, and it can really add up by the end of that season. But I really hope to see more people like yourself that are interested in the side of the championship and just interested in racing hard enduro to really like set the goal out and to make it happen in years to come. I think that would be really cool to see more people join the paddock, more personalities, more riders, and that would be really cool. I think definitely what the sport needs.
And I definitely say anyone who's thinking of doing it, go for it. The paddock's so welcoming. The people are so friendly. Everyone's there to support you. Everyone's gave me advice being my first year, from Manny to Johnny, Billy. Everyone's, give advice, and everyone's very welcoming.
Yeah. When I was watching some of your vlogs, it seems like that you travel to all these different races with your van and then leave it at the location where the next race would be. Is that kind of like how you did it? Like do you mind explaining a little bit like how your logistics work throughout the year?
Yeah. So that's another good thing. Anyone thinking of doing it. I basically just to sponsor the Black Flag, we come up with the idea. He was going to do entries for 4 of the world rounds, and he would drive the bike back and forth from there, and myself would go with him. And it's sort of, I come up with the idea, if we're in Austria, Serbia's only slightly further on, and if we're in Serbia, Romania's only slightly further on. So I sort of come up with the idea, if I bit the bullet and brought a second bike. So I had a UK bike and a race bike. I could then leave the van and the bike at a secure location in Austria and then fly home and then fly back. Because what you'll save on transport, fuel, you can just pay for a cheap flight, fly back over, then drive on to Serbia, race Serbia. Then after Serbia, we drove to Romania and then flew back in. And it just made it a lot more affordable. And that then managed to allow the sponsor to have a bit more funding to pay for a few more of the entries, which then helped in the long run for me to do the full season.
I think, again, really good consumer advice there. I noticed that now, actually, when I picked up on it, I was like, oh, that's actually a really good idea, you know? And I guess your van would still be in Europe somewhere, or is it back with you now inside UK?
It's back with us now. We brought it back from Romania. So we brought the bike all the way back from the Romania and the van. And then after Romania, I think it was Turkey. We did think about going on from Turkey, but I think it's for me to get to Turkey was 3 days driving solid. So we thought we'd come back, and we used transport company for that.
And how did you manage the TKO round?
TKO, I was contemplating on doing it. I was pretty set on doing it. Like I said, if I do something, I'm all in. And I spoke to the Brightmoors, and Chris and Sally were very keen. They were going out anyway. The boys were already in Brazil and they were flying there. And we sort of come up with the idea, if we all come together and split the costs, it made it a bit more affordable. So that's from the car rental to accommodation, which obviously, as you can imagine, is a big cost of it. Also then the bike, I managed to rent a bike out there, which was nice gas that I rented off Zavarotti. So that made it happen.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. For 2025, we've got some new races on the list now, going to be new for you as well, because you've never done these races before. Is there any race that you're looking forward to the most?
Canada. I'm very looking forward to Canada. The Getson, I've heard real good reviews on Getson, saying it's a really good race to do. So I've never been big in watching like YouTube or videos, or it's only the odd video I see on social media when I'm scrolling through of like these events and stuff. I haven't really watched any YouTube, which I probably should have at the start of this season, because I think it would have helped with some of the events I did. But
Getson looks like a wild race. I mean, we speak about it quite often. The finale for 2023 Hard Enduro World Championship, 10,000 riders lining the banks of a Hard Enduro course, watching the top riders in the world go head to head. I mean, you can't get better than that, man. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah, what do you think of that that format, that kind of multi-lap closed circuit type format, knockout, you'd say, in a way?
I struggle with the multi-lap slightly. I prefer as much as I hated it, and I even turned around to my sponsor in Romania and Serbia. I was like, I hate the rally format. This is rubbish. I'm riding all day. I'm knackered. I hate it. And it's where I forgot my best results, because you're coming into the unknown all the time. I've had a few concussions via rugby, racing quads and bikes, and my memory's not the best. So where you've got a lot of riders on a multi-lap course, they'll remember sections or corners, or they can remember or analyze the track. I really struggle with that. So it doesn't suit my riding style so much.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a completely different strategy, you know, to race multi-lap. As you said, the track deteriorates completely, you know, lap by lap, and to find the right lines can really make the difference between whether, you know, you're inside the top 10 or just inside the cutoff to make the final race at the end of the day, which is obviously like the objective there is to at least make main events, you know. So I completely get that. But yeah, let's speak about a little bit about you. You mentioned that you got a new sponsor on board for the 2025 season. Let's get into that, man. Let us know what's in store for Radford.
Yeah, I was so happy after coming out of this season. Sort of, as a new rider and sort of got myself noticed a little bit and had a few people approach me and Sherco UK have asked me to step on board and ride for them and give the 25 season a go on the Sherco and through Eurotech and On Point Moto, which is a new shop down in the southwest here, a new Sherco dealership. So I'll be riding for them and I'm very excited to try the bike and see how I get on with it.
Yeah, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. When you told me about this as well, I was super stoked for you. Definitely well deserved on your side. Is it through Mark Jackson and the guys from Eurotech, Sherco US? I mean, UK, sorry.
Yeah. So Mark Jackson, approached me and we were chatting quite a bit and sort of put an offer together and it's one of them. It's just really wanted to do the 25 season and try and do the full season again. So to get some support and help like that's massive for me, and we'll hopefully make it all possible to do the full season.
In what aspect does this sponsorship actually support you and like takes a little bit of a load off your back?
The bikes and financially, it all helps massively. With the bikes and upgrading the bikes and bits. I've had a few sponsors and bits help me with that. And then with Eurotech going to a few of the world rounds like Romania, Serbia and stuff, it's having the service team and the support will help massively. This year coming in from a 10-hour day in Romania, riding through the mountains, and I come into the pro paddock and there's not one rider in there. All the riders are in the spa or getting an early night, and I'm under the bike doing an oil change, changing my own tyres and mousses, going bed late and then back up at 4:30. It takes its toll. So I think this year having a service team will make a big difference.
Yeah, that's super awesome, and I really look forward to watching your season progress for 2025 and to see what you can make of it now that you've got a little bit of more time to rest and to focus on the riding and the racing and not so much fixing and trying to sort out the bike at the paddock, as you said.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to comment on this as well. Like I think I met up with you inside Romania in Maniacs, and you were busy searching for, I think it was at that point like I don't know if it was an engine at that point, but I know that you cracked the whole bottom parts of your casing of the beater, and you had to do a full engine swap before the parade. Things like that would obviously be a lot more easier to try to figure out with the support of Eurotech and a team behind you.
Exactly, with a team. Being a privateer, it was sort of a bit of a struggle, and I needed to make the parade because we had the practice runs for the prologue in the town. So I think in an hour and a half I managed to take an engine out of one bike and put it in the other, and pretty much on my own. Luckily managed to get that done, but it was touch and go for a moment. But
So going into the 2025 season, what sponsors are you bringing on board other than Sherco UK?
So I've got Sherco UK. Then I've also got Eurotech, backing of Eurotech, which is going to be massive. A local dealer to me, a Sherco dealer called On Point Moto, a new shop that started up. They're going to be supporting me as well. As well as that, the Oxer exhaust systems I started using last year, and love the exhaust, and should be taking them on to next year hopefully, as well as the Astra bars, which I'm a big fan of. And I am in talks with the TSP products, which I've heard really good things about. So hopefully through Radford Racing, should be carrying some of them over. As well as that, it's still early days. Obviously, Blues tyres, I've used them all year. They've been amazing and supported me. And they've going to be supporting me through the 25 season as well, which massive thank you to Blues. And I'm then still looking for any other potential sponsors. Unfortunately, it's got to the stage. It's mainly a lot of it's funding and bits like that. But so I've got a pitch deck together, ready to approach any potential sponsors. So anyone looking at sponsoring an idiot with a thumb throttle, slide in my DMs.
Yeah, so they should contact you on Instagram in your DM and get in contact with the guy with the thumb throttle.
Yeah, exactly. And I can get a pitch deck, sent across. And yeah, I'm happy to promote products or help where I can.
And for sure, I think for a sponsor, as I mentioned, such a likable and fun guy inside the paddock, such an awesome personality to have. So it's not only the rider and the results at the end of the day, but it's also the person behind under the helmet that makes the difference. That wraps up all the questions that I have. I just want to thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, and I really look forward to watching you, as I said, in the 2025 season. I hope to see you at some of the rounds, face to face.
Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to everyone who supported me and all my sponsors who made it possible this year, and hopefully taking some of them sponsors on to next year, like Oxer Exhaust and Astra Bars. I love them, and definitely hoping to carry on the 25 season with them through Radford Racing. And so it's exciting. Hopefully I'll see you all next year and see what results I can get.
Yeah, bro. Cool. Cheers, dude.